Burr. I'm the county manager, and as you know, this is a night for reorganization as well as we're swearing in 2 new commissioners. But first, I'd like to welcome everybody to the December 6, 2022 meeting of the Anson County Board of Commissioners. And at this time, I'd like for everyone to pause for a moment of silence in memory of Judge Frank Fetzer Mills and Mr. Douglas Ray Clayton. Thank you very much. Next, what we need to do is we have 2 new commissioners to be sworn in, so at this time I'd like to turn it over for a few moments to our county clerk, Denise Cannon, and she will handle that swearing in ceremony.
Ms. Little? And your notary. Everybody wanna come with us? All family, all friends? She's with me right here.
Little, do solemnly and sincerely swear or affirm that I will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as County Commissioner, so help me God. Commissioner Priscilla Little.
Commissioner Little, you get all the pictures you want. If you want. If you need them, you got them. Don't feel running.
Take pictures, go around and sit beside me. Let yourself. Maybe you can take one with me.
Come here real quick. just sit beside of me.
Look at the draw.
Thank you, congratulations.
Mr. Jamie Fowler. Dr. Ford. Mr. Mark Hammond.
Jamie, you need somebody to take the pictures and all that stuff, or do you have to?
If you would.
I'll be glad to.
There'll probably be a few out there. We'll be out. Let me ask you a question. You want me to repeat all this stuff after me? You want me to read through it, and then when I get to nod my head, you say I just say I do. If you place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Do you, Jamie Cole, solemnly and sincerely swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States, the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office as County Commissioner, so help you God? Do you, Jamie Cole, swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of your office of County Commissioner according to the best of your skill and ability, according to law, so help you God? I do. Congratulations. Thank you.
Don't taste like M&M. Like that.
Mr. Fowler, you make this meeting with the family, wait just a moment.
Your place is over here.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Some good glasses. I'll lose them. I had the case I thought I had a minute. I guess you can put yours on.
That is it, and, Commissioner Jamie Collins. I'll get this to you. I'll get a copy to you. Okay.
At this time, we need to continue with our reorganization, and what is normally happens at the first meeting in December of that given year of election, or every year now, because we select a new chairperson every December, always have according to Commissioner Smith. So this time, the floor is open for the nominations for the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, Anson County.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I would like to nominate Mr. J.D. Bricken as Chair of the Anson County Board of Commissioners, beginning tonight through December 5th, 2023.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to nominate Jarvis Woodburn to fill this, seat up until the next term.
Yes, sir, okay. We have two nominees right now, one J.D. Bricken and the other is Jarvis Woodburn for the chairmanship of the Anson County Board of Commissioners. Are there any other nominees?
Move that be closed on the said too.
Second.
Okay, nominations are now closed. So what I have to do first, and Mr. Attorney, if I'm wrong, I knew it just now, so, and county managers and city managers don't get to run meetings, so, or vote. So I can't vote, but it's my understanding since the first nominee was J.D. Bricken, then all those in favor of Commissioner Bricken assuming the chairmanship signify by raising your right hand. That's left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you get 4?
That's the number I have.
There's 4 votes for Commissioner Bricken. Now I have to take the votes for Commissioner Woodburn. All in favor of Commissioner Woodburn, signify by raising the right hand. Commissioner Woodburn, 3 votes. So I guess Commissioner J.D. Bricken, whether he wants it or not, has just been nominated. My last act before turning it over to the new chairman, Chairman Bricken, is to open the floor for nominations for the vice chairmanship for this next year.
Mr. Robert Mims.
Robert Mims has been nominated to be the vice,
Nominate Jarvis Woodburn.
and now Jarvis Woodburn by Commissioner Smith. Are there any other nominations?
Move said to be closed.
Second.
Second. All in favor of closing nominations, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. All right, so the first vote will be for Robert Mims to be the vice chairman once again this coming year as the vice chair for the Anson County Board of Commissioners. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. Got 4 votes? Okay. Any that's not opposed. Any that will now vote for Jarvis Woodburn to be the vice chairman? Okay. Okay, 3 votes. So it's time to congratulate Commissioner Robert Mims as the new vice chairman. Now, without further ado, we need to take a short break so I can move down to where I need to go. Then Commissioner Woodburn can decide where he's going to sit up here. I guess it's going to be over here in Chairman Bricken's seat, while he moves over to the center seat and becomes the focal point of attention for a little while. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The first thing I'd like to do is welcome our 2 new commissioners, Ms. Priscilla Little and Mr. Jamie Cottle. And then I gotta wonder if my microphone is working, cause it doesn't sound like it is. Okay. Alright, I also wanna thank all the law enforcement officials that are in here tonight. We sure appreciate all the work that you all do keeping us safe, and we sure do thank you for that. So we're gonna start off, with the approval of the agenda by the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman,
Good. Yeah,
I would like to make an addition, number 3A, the sheriff vacancy.
vacancy 3A.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Mims? Oh, okay.
Chairman, we would like to, take off 6B, please.
6B?
Remove.
Okay. Oh, we're taking that off tonight?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Did you say 6D?
B like boy?
6B.
Oh, B
That's
like,
The zoning presentation.
okay, 6, I'm sorry. I was under a different one. Gotcha.
Okay, with these, changes, does anyone make a motion to accept these minutes?
So move. With the, changes.
Second?
Second, if there's no further discussion, the motion, if all say, in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say the same. The motion passes. Alright, so now we're gonna go into, well, the consent agenda, we have each of these individual, we gotta approve the minutes, the property tax, Sand Hills quarterly. Have we approved the consent agenda in its entirety already? Okay, consent agenda, budget amendment, general fund, insurance proceeds, jail inmate fund, 9/11, annex building, water and wastewater treatment plant, and governing body. Does anyone make a vote to accept the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, a motion was made by Commissioner Mims, second by Commissioner Woodburn. Is there any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say the same. Motion passed. Okay, we're going to the public addresses of the board. And I gotta see if I have the list. Thank you. Okay, for public address, Mr. Gerald Miller, please. And, keep in mind, we get 3 minutes, for the public address. And keep in mind that the commissioners will make no decision based upon the address tonight. We'll hear what you have to say and then we'll, pass it along.
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna keep time for you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'll warn you at 2 minutes, and then you'll have 1 minute left. Thank you.
First off, I'd like to start by congratulating our brand new 2 commissioners, Mr. Caldwell and Priscilla Lowe. All right. Our former Sheriff Landry Reed once said, if we don't stand for anything, then we'll fall. If we don't stand up for something, we'll fall for anything. Over the past couple weeks, we've seen many irregularities happen within this sheriff's election. I've witnessed myself, Danny Montgomery, inside of the building at the Miami Library, tell people to raise their hand for certain individuals on that particular day. John Montgomery, which is her husband, was going around harassing people, telling people not to vote for Scott Howell because he's a racist. Now, there's not one piece of evidence to support that Scott Howell is a racist. And to me, when the far most radical leftist agenda is to play the race game, to me, you bring into question our former sheriff's integrity, Leonard Reed. And to me, it would also seem that if you guys are pinpointing that Scott Howell's a racist, you guys are also saying that Leonard Reed was a racist as well too. And everyone got up here, they cried, they hooped, they hollered, and claimed that they wanted to respect our sheriff's wishes. And over the past couple of weeks, what they've done, that was blatant disrespect to him, blatant disrespect to his wife, and blatant disrespect to Sheriff Howell. And at the end of the day, when the far radical left doesn't have anything else to use, when truth and logic fails, they'll play the race card, as always.
Father Johnson, please.
Good evening. First off, I'd like to congratulate our new commissioners. Looking for some great things here. To begin with, I know most of you, but you may not know me, but I want to speak to you tonight about a very grave issue, and that is things that this board has done within the last 2 weeks that is absolutely illegal, immoral, and you broke your oath of office. I no longer consider the people that were involved in last Thursday's meeting and last night's meeting, you are no longer my commissioners. You broke your oath of office, the same oath that was given here a few minutes ago, and when you break your oath of office, you no longer hold that office in my mind, in my heart. You are sitting in your seat illegally. So, this is based on General North Carolina Statutes 153A-40, Section B. The chairman of a majority of the members of the board may at any time call a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners by signing a written notice stating the time and place of the meeting and the subject to be considered. The person or persons calling the meeting shall cause the notice to be delivered to the chairman and each other member of this board or at the usual dwelling place of each at least 48 hours before the meeting, and shall cause a copy of the notice to be posted on the courthouse bulletin board at least 48 hours before the meeting. Only those items of business specified in the notice may be transacted at the special meeting. You did not do that. The meeting is illegal, and we're going to prove it. May be in court, but we're going to prove it. And a special meeting is called to deal with an emergency, and I noticed that this meeting last night was called an emergency meeting by the clerk in a telephone call. The notice requirements of this section do not apply. However, the person or persons calling such a special meeting shall take the reasonable action to inform the other members and the public of the meeting. Only business connected with the emergency may be discussed at a meeting called pursuant to this paragraph. I think maybe the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners need to be notified of what has happened. There's been vagrant breaking of the statutes of North Carolina. These are not Anson County laws, these are North Carolina laws, and you ignored them. So,
That's three.
we have a problem with other issues that the board has done in the past. I hope that you will reconsider what the past board has done.
Mr. Johnson, that is three. Thank you, sir.
I know, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's 3 minutes.
I know, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I intend to show this board and this group of people that at this point, I intend to protest what this board has done.
Mr. Johnson,
I
you
do
know I
not.
respect you. You know I respect you deeply. Would you please respect this board and take your 3 minutes, please?
If you would like.
Mr. Johnson, please.
Time. I'm serious.
I am too,
And I know.
Mr. Johnson, and you're putting me in a bad position,
If
sir.
you would, I know.
Please.
I'm sorry.
Please.
You're one of my best friends. I'm sorry. But my intention is to bring full attention to what is going on. So, if you would like to remove me from the room, please feel free to do so. came to this meeting prepared.
Mr. Chair, may I escort?
Unfortunately, Mr. Johnson, we have to please move on. You and I know each other too. Please be respectful to me and don't do this, okay?
Would you please?
See this one? You heard that part?
Mr. Johnson, you're not gonna make me do this, please. Please don't do this. Mr. Johnson, we do not want.
I know you don't.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir, I will.
Please. Sheriff, thank you very much.
Miss Montgomery, Danny Montgomery, please.
Good evening, everyone. To our Board of Commissioners, congratulations to our newly installed officers. My name is Danny Montgomery. I am the re-elected chair of the Anson County Democratic Party. I'm excited to be here tonight because we have completed a strenuous process to nominate and select the new sheriff for Anson County. In this process, democracy was what we were most focused on. Democracy is where the people speak. All of the processes that we've gone through, beginning with the North Carolina Democratic Party, as we followed the state statutes of North Carolina. In the beginning, there were some issues that came about. And the Democratic Party said to us, go back and do it over again. And that's exactly what we did. We didn't argue, we didn't fight, because we love this community. We are a family. And like most families, there are some dysfunctionalities. And so we saw that, but we kept right on plugging. We didn't call names. We didn't try to use social media and all those things to break up the family. Even though some folks did, without cause. Even to the point on our final convention where 9 Republicans and 1 independent changed their party to participate in a Democratic Party executive committee in an effort to keep democracy from not working. But still, we survived, and we nominated a Sheriff Gerald Cannon. And I know that whenever Sheriff Cannon takes his seat, he will serve all of the people in Anson County with distinction and with honor. Democracy is something we cannot afford to lose. We've seen it happen all over our country. In Anson County, the Democratic Party will fight for it. All of our efforts will go to make sure that the people have an opportunity to speak. On last night, we were in this room, and we presented our nominee to the Board of Commissioners, and we were excited and satisfied and pleased. And even though we had to go through a little bit more, even after Sheriff Cannon had taken his oath, we're here tonight, standing firm and standing strong. Democracy won. It will prevail. And so to all of our citizens, all of our commissioners, I say to you, we need to work together. We need not let hate and bigotry get in the midst of us. Racist and racist behavior are a part of a system. It is not a people. It is not a people. And we need to fight against a racist system to make sure that every citizen has the opportunity to be their best and live their best and have all of the opportunities that are afforded to them. When Sheriff Cannon takes his seat, I promise you, Anson County will have the best sheriff in the state of North Carolina. Thank you.
Pastor Hillary?
Good evening to everyone. Protocol being established. I wanted to speak and somewhat take somewhat of a different angle. I've been disheartened by a lot of the things that I've heard and I've witnessed, somewhat on both sides of the aisle. As this address started, I heard a young man come and state claims and speak on racism and speak on divisiveness that I think the last thing our county needs at this time. I heard Ms. Montgomery just speak on democracy and the process that took place. I was there, I was present, I was part of it. I've spoken to multiple of these commissioners since that time on today, leading up to this point. And my concern is that out of all that was invested, out of all the time that was spent, I witnessed each candidate that was nominated, neither of whom I nominated, but as a registered voter, I was a part of the process. And after seeing the process and witnessing the process, each candidate went through the process, the votes were given, the votes were taken, the votes were tallied. And I know that we have North Carolina statutes that we could quote, and some that may not apply to our county, some that do. But democracy is one of the things, and the republic is one of the things that concern me. I'm concerned when we are more concerned about personal preference rather than the voice of the people. There were a couple of you as commissioners that was present during this process. I witnessed elderly people standing outside on Saturday morning, November the 12th, waiting to get into the Hampton B Library, waiting to get a chance to vote and to help organize their precinct. Some being walked to their cars, some having to find a seat somewhere. I witnessed people show up this past Saturday, December the 3rd, of whom both of our candidates that were nominated showed up. And again, I witnessed some of our commissioners that was there. Whether you say cast a vote or not, you was a part of that process. If the numbers would have been in favor of Mr. Scott Howard, I would support it. If the numbers as they were are in favor of Mr. Gerald Cannon, I support it. Because in America, in the republic and in democracy, we vote. And before we point fingers and talk down and say who can't, who will, who, I think we should look back to our republic or our democracy, whichever terminology you want to use, and allow the voice of the people to be where we take our stands. I even witnessed before coming in here, after being here before some people, being told that we met capacity. I was not allowed in. Others went around the back, and they were sitting in here when I came. And if you're going to convince me that we still don't have personal preference, then there should not have been citizens like me that arrived after me and still got a seat before me. Thank you for your time.
All right, at this time, we're gonna have Rashonda Terry and our appearances. Report to the people from
Good evening, Chairman, I almost said Woodburn, I'm sorry. Bricken, other boards, welcome to our new commissioners, Commissioner Collar, Commissioner Little. My name is Rashonda Terry. I am the County Extension Director for Anson County Extension. And tonight I just wanted to formally present our yearly report to the people. We chose to highlight a multi-program event that we do yearly for you to see, and we did this in the form of a video. In your package, you do have an infographic that has our program impacts and numbers. I hope you get a chance to look over that. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to contact me and let me know. So I hope you enjoy our video. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
We are getting back to what is now our normal. The outside is open, fewer masks are worn, and less social distancing and precautions. All of that means more in-person program for Anson County Extension, except we still sanitize. Looking back the past 2 years, we have allowed our innovation to soar while continuing to offer educational programs, new outreach initiatives, and creating new and sustaining existing partnerships. In this video, we are taking the time to highlight an interdisciplinary event that we put on yearly. Anson Ag Expo and Fair is comprised of 4 events: the Livestock Show, Farm City Week Banquet, the Fair, and Family Fall Fest. Anson is a largely agricultural county, with ag being the top generator for the county. Based on the North Carolina Department of Agriculture, there are 412 farms in the county. Anson is ranked 7th in the state for overall agricultural income, with 61% of the county being timberland and forest production in Anson, and 2 years ago, the county was ranked 10th in the state for forest production. Delivered value in 2020 was $25,538,697 in forestry. Ag cash receipts in 2020 were $253,149,552 for a total of over $279 million. Highlighting agriculture and its importance is our main reason to continue Ag Expo and Fair. Yearly, our staff and planning committee members organize, strategize, plan, secure funds, locations, and market for events in a time span of little over 3 months. What starts as just written notes and ideas become 4 separate events that brings our community together to celebrate agriculture in Anson County. Our Youth Livestock Show is a part of our Ag Expo and Fair, open to youth ages 5 through 18. This event is held by our Cattlemen's Association at a local farm. The Farm City Week Banquet brings farm businesses and farmers together to recognize, celebrate, and highlight the importance of agriculture as the foundation of our national and state economies. Local farmers, agribusinesses, and conservation farm families are all recognized. Our county fair allows citizens of all ages to highlight their best canned goods, crafts, arts, and photography made in the last year. To embrace our future, we must honor our past. There are also categories for those that have left this earthly dwelling, but left their creative mark on and in the lives to honor them. Place ribbons, best of show, and premiums are all rewarded. Our Family Fall Fest allows everyone to come out and enjoy a nice, safe space to kick off cooler days and the fall season. Games, food, music, and prizes are given out, and there's no charge to enjoy these festivities. So what are words without numbers and impacts? The past 3 years of Ag Expo and Fair events have resulted in 20 partnerships, 800 participants, 487 fair entries, 120 volunteers, and over $33,000 in outside funding secured. For a department of 7 and a 2-year break due to COVID, I can honestly say the numbers speak for themselves. Anson County Extension will continue to bring events like Ag Expo and Fair and others that meet the needs of our citizens. We are constantly working to be a part of the solution, not the problem. We are a multi-generational staff consisting of 4 generations, from baby boomers to Gen Zers. We understand difference to enhance inclusion and generational equity. With all the challenges the last 2 years, our staff has done a tremendous job adapting and innovating. We honored the traditions of programs and outreach while implementing new high-touch, high-tech to remain more accessible and continue to strengthen our impacts and value the citizens of Anson County. Our strengths far outweigh our weaknesses. With new opportunities, emerging issues, and pivotal moments, we are now continuing to move forward in a changing world.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Miss Terry for all the great work that they're doing. I sound like my microphone's not on. Y'all think it is? Okay. Just thank her and Mr. Cole. They do such great work. I'm on the board with the county extension, and I went to that cattle show that they were talking about, and there was an enormous number of kids from Anson County there participating. So I want to make sure to thank the county extension people for all their great work. Okay. At this time, we're gonna do the 2023 commissioner meeting schedule. We're gonna review that, and if everyone agrees, we would make a motion to accept.
I make a motion that we accept the 2023 commissioners meeting schedule.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just one discussion. Ms. Little, on July, is that our meeting date for St. Hills?
Is that what now?
Is our meeting date for St. Hills on the 10th of July? Look at the schedule. That's in that second Tuesday. No, I'm sorry, first Tuesday, I'm sorry. My fault. The first Tuesday, I'm sorry.
So we good on that?
We're good, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, if there's no more discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed. All right. Next, we're gonna go into the appointments. The Council on Aging Advisory Board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we appoint Ms. Roshonda Blunt Terry, Ms. Tanya Bird, Andrea Lamons, and Mr. Lawrence Gateway.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. Motion passed. Second, Board of Health.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we reappoint Ms. Pam Vernon to the Anson County Board of Health for a 3-year term.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Woodburn, second by Commissioner Gatewood and Commissioner Mims. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Motion passed. Third, DSS Board appointments.
Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that Mr. Lawrence Gateway.
I second.
Motion made, second by Commissioner Mims, second by Commissioner Woodburn. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed. All right, now for the manager's report.
No, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few things tonight. First, just wanted to remind, particularly for our 2 new commissioners, that your community, Burnsville, has received a $950,000 CDBG, that's Community Development Block Grant, through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, to rehabilitate and renovate, if you will. Probably something on the order of a dozen houses have been identified and qualified. There are also 3 alternates. So that's been done, and we've we've had the assistance of, Central Carolina Council of Governments to do so. So that should kick off here very soon. Second, I know I usually get a question about the, audit, and let you know that I did have a Zoom meeting yesterday with, Alan Thompson, who's one of the principals with Thompson, Price, Scott and Adams, which are the independent auditors for Hanson County, and, which was a timely meeting, because today I met with two representatives from the local government commission, and, the timeliness of it is that, we have a couple more things. We're gonna send a new trial balance to the auditors, as well as a couple items off the list they have provided us previously. And they think that, if everything goes well, that they should be able to get a draft of the 21 audit to us by the end of this month, which is the end of the year. If so, then I'd like to get it in from a draft form to a final form, your approval and authorization to submit to the local government commission. And as soon as that's done, we'll jump on to 22.
Right.
All right, we'll be looking forward to that.
So when I provided that information plus answered about 2 hours worth of questions today to the local government commission representatives, I was about out of voice, but they left by saying we're making definite forward progress, which is good.
Great news.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We've recently completed, with the help of the, Board of Equalization and Review, to get a tax agreement identified for valuation, if you will, for the former Walmart building, sometimes referred to as the old Walmart building, which obviously is no longer Walmart. Due to the restrictions that were put on it, we had to accept a lower value than what we had, but, and that value is a little over $4.1 million. Now, with that being said, talking with our tax administrator, we know that he'll start the revaluation next year. That will take effect, and as you know, in North Carolina, there's an order that you have to do it periodically, so that will take effect, and it will be probably adjusted, I would think, upward at that time, but it keeps us out of court for some protracted period of paying some expensive attorneys to go through that process. Not this attorney.
You gotta watch him.
He agrees.
Yeah.
There is a resolution in your package that we've worked on, because with that $950,000 grant from Community Development Block Grant, and then also, other grants that we have in place, you have to have certain protocols, and I'll bring more to you next month at a January meeting. This one is a retention and disposition schedules, and you're seeing schedules with the S on both ends, because different documents are treated differently under state law. If you want to see that package of schedules that I got from the local government commission, is 126 pages in length. I'll be glad to hook you up with a link, or I'll get you a hard copy, but I didn't think you might want a hard copy tonight. This is something you really have no choice to do if you want to continue to receive and use those grants for the purpose that are intended under the applications. So I would hope that you would approve it tonight, and then that gets one of those things off our list, because there's 3 or 4 more we'll probably have to do from a procedural standpoint in the January meeting.
What would the board's pleasure be?
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion that we approve the, local record retention and disposition schedule presented by the manager.
Second.
Got a motion, Commissioner Woodburn, second, Commissioner Gatewood. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passed.
Then also, as you recall, several months back, or a couple months in a row, you approved certain properties to go for a foreclosure sale. I've just got a note from, Larry, Newton, our tax administrator, that the, parcel 647406485237 is a lot, is gonna be sold, as well as another parcel, and, he's got the opening bids. One's a little over an acre, and the other one's, just a lot. And those will be sold at the courthouse steps, if you will, at 11 a.m. on the Tuesday, December 13th, 2022.
What process are we using to get that out where people can know about it?
It's posted, so.
It was advertised in the paper as well.
Okay,
I looked at it.
okay, good, okay. All right. Manager report complete.
There's another one that I need to talk with you about in a closed session, if you will, because there was, I think the attorney has advised me that I shouldn't talk about it now until you have a chance in closed session, that I know we've got that as a listed item. Probably you need to consider that to take some advice from your attorney relative to the item that, Commissioner Gatewood added relative to the appointment of the sheriff.
So is it the pleasure of the board, we go in, the closed session will normally be at the end, but since this commissioner concern is coming up, what is the pleasure of the board?
Are you asking?
Does the board want to go into closed session prior to, the commissioner concern, that Commissioner Mims had made? Commissioner Gatewood, okay, would you want to go into closed session prior?
Absolutely. In fact, I would make a motion that we go into closed session now to consult with our attorney on the sheriff vacancy.
He makes a motion. Second?
Second.
All, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. And Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that we go into closed session in the small room so all these people can maintain their seats.
That's a good idea. The reason for the closed session is we're gonna consult with our attorney, and we'll be right back out in a few minutes.
Their vote makes a difference.
Their vote makes a difference.
And their vote is what nominated for this election. Here.
Until it.
And that vote will be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was so focused.
Yeah, I talked to the county before that, so
You know what I mean? What's that? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Something else recorded.
Yeah.
That's all right. It might take you a couple of days.
We're almost ready.
session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Mr. Chairman, after consulting with the attorney, and this is a very difficult, very sticky issue, I make a motion that we appoint Mr. Scott Howell as the Anson County Sheriff, effective immediately and extending through the next 4 years.
Before we vote, I gotta before we vote, I gotta present our clerk with the two pieces of paperwork that are required prior to the appointment.
Is there a motion to approve those?
Now, the board can vote.
Motion to approve that?
Sorry?
You have to make a motion to accept the bond and social.
What are you voting on?
Well, we have one motion on the floor right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, once,
Has it been given to the clerk?
yes, it's been given to the clerk. So what is the procedure, Attorney Forbes?
May I see your statute, please?
He made the motion here,
Right.
and he got a second.
But,
It's up to you to carry.
but before we make the vote, I was told that we have to, in recognition of the 14-229 in the bonding and the declaration of, the request forms have to be given.
I would say that doesn't have any bearing on this.
But we have to know before we make a motion that he's qualified, is what I'm getting at. Before we pass the motion, we have to know that he's qualified. We don't have the authority to appoint somebody without the documentation to show that requirement has been met. So in recognition of the 1429, I wanna recognize the, bonding certificate and disclosure statement, and that's what I gave to our clerk. So now, and I'd ask, Attorney Forbes, would we now then, the motion was made and second, do we now vote?
There is a list of things, please let me go over this.
That's right. Mr. Chairman, I move that the motion is law.
There's always discussion before the vote, the opportunity for discussion.
That's what I was doing.
Another Christmas parade.
I move that the motion is lost.
We're having the discussion after the motion was made.
I don't hear the discussion.
County Attorney's research.
Well, how about this? I've appointed our clerk with the documentation, so I feel like, Attorney Forbes, we would now be free to vote, right?
Pardon?
Since I've provided Ms. Cannon, our clerk, with those two forms, we're now free to vote out on the motion, yes or no?
No, sir. It has to be accepted and it has to be reviewed and formally accepted. If the board formally accepts it, that is, informally accepted or rejected if it doesn't meet the requirement. All right, the sheriff office bond on the first Monday of to the election. That date is not in us, but before any appointment. All right. See, again, we got to.
He made a motion, is sheriff's office vacant?
It's up to the board to decide. We haven't.
No. This is the whole thing. This is not the exact section. This is the part of it. And my phone's not working.
Mr. Chairman, I don't hear you discussing anything. I move that the motion is law.
It was my understanding that once the motion was made, before we vote, we have to have the proper documentation to show that the person that we may be picking, meets the qualifications. That's where we are right now.
You didn't add that to the motion.
That is, if, as long as that person has submitted these within 90 days, okay, it appears that that will be a valid thing. However, because this would be a new term, I'm not completely sure about that, and I'm not finding the other part, because I believe it has to be before the appointment is made.
Right, and we can't, and we're getting ready to vote to appoint.
Correct, that's
So
why.
I've provided the information, so can we just go on with it now?
I think it says in there that, you can vote, you just can't, as long as you don't take the office.
You accept the bond.
So those documents had to be provided before
Just a document.
they should have been provided before tonight, actually, but I guess the time would count between now and when you get sworn in, so.
Okay, but I just wouldn't think we'd wanna make a motion unless we knew, and I'm just showing that, I'm just showing the documentation that we can clearly make the motion based on the requirement.
The bond needs to be signed by the chair as well, that's another step. Needs to be signed by the chair of the Board of Commissioners. The clerk must record the minutes, must record in the minutes the bond and the names of commissioners who were present at the time of the approval of the bond and the vote in the acceptance of the bond. And the clerk files the original bond with the clerk of the Superior Court.
And we wouldn't do that had a motion not been made, right?
Pardon?
We wouldn't do that had a motion not been made, so I think we're going through the proper steps to get this done, right?
You need to do this first before you do a motion. Before you appoint, you need to make sure that these the way I read the statute, it needs to be done before you do this.
Is the motion required for those documents to accept them?
To be on the safe side for you to.
So what is your recommendation?
I would recommend that you accept the documents, or you at least pose it to the board to see who accepts them and who does not accept them.
So we rescind the motion we just made, make that motion, and then if we decide to go back to the other?
Yes.
Okay, do you?
I want to rescind my motion.
Okay, the second? Okay, rescinding.
Yeah. I'll second it to rescind the motion.
Okay, so now we make a motion to accept the documentation that was necessary.
I make a motion to accept the documentation as necessary.
Second?
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposite say same sign.
We better raise our hand. I don't go along with that.
Okay, so we have 4 aye, and is it, all those opposed say aye?
Aye.
We have 4 and 1 against, and 2 no votes. So the motion passed.
I voted in favor of it, based on what we came out with from.
Oh, we have 5 aye. How was your vote?
He made a vote about rescinding the motion.
Yes.
So they're not gonna do that?
Right.
They're not gonna do it?
No, we're rescinding the motion.
No, I'm talking about he said the motion is lost.
No, it's not lost. Right now, we're in a motion to accept the documentation that we've provided with Ms. Cannon. It seems like we have 5 in favor, all, opposed say aye. 5 in favor, no opposed?
I vote.
1 opposed, 5 in favor. The motion passed to accept the documentation. Okay, now that we've got the documentation, what is the pleasure of the board?
Sir, have you signed that bond?
If that's a requirement, then that's what I'll do.
That is without reading the statute.
I don't know what we are doing.
They screwed up, I voted to do this.
Y'all didn't do this last time? Y'all didn't do this last time?
No, we didn't. Not at all. But, I mean, that's part of the problem.
I have no idea.
Well, right there, right. Oh.
Does this meet the signature requirements?
You signed it. Yes, sir. It says sign. It all says it's signed.
Do I just sign the one paper or both of them?
Is it the bond? Then if it's, the bond is signed, I would not say on every page, just whichever bond, whichever page is the original bond. It says the original bond.
Okay, and then what about the declaration statement? Do I have to sign that? Do I sign the declaration statement?
No, sir, it doesn't say that. It just says the bond.
Okay. All right, back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I'll repeat my motion, and that is, I make a motion to appoint Mr. Scott Howell as the Anson County Sheriff, effective immediately and extending through the next 4 years.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Well, never mind.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign. We got 4, and 3, against. The motion passes. We're just, right now, we're on commissioner concerns.
Chairman's report, number 10, sir.
But on the chairman report, I have nothing to report. All right. Anything else? Otherwise, this meeting.
I said motion to adjourn.
Yep.
Second.